so I appreciate you. Let's go over here to this reinforced armor, and let's clear some ads while we wait for rain. I will explain each boss when we get to it. Questions are welcome. I've done this a bunch of times, so I might go a little fast. If you are not clear about something, feel free to ask me questions.
Maximum rise and surge. Stand. Shield us.
Great. Look around for a way out. Try not to avoid that thing.
You're also not messing with gold sunlight. So if you pick that up, then they can drop it. Looks like it's not there. That gold mushroom in the middle means that the challenge mode is active. Although, you know what, it doesn't really change much. It just means that you did the challenge. So that's like a deal if that's on. You're gonna put pretty aggressive mushrooms up here. And I will fix these when we're in the actual fight. It looks like everyone's here. So, so I'm going to put you second since you probably I want whoever's first to get some new player experience. So, very, very easy fight as long as you don't die. Just like every other fight in the game. To beat this fight, all you need to remember is FAT, the acronym FAT, which stands for Floor, Ads, and Poison. Those are the only things that can wipe the raid. Everything else is just kind of annoying, but as long as we aren't vapping, then we're going to beat the raid. Floor is this green shit on the floor. If you look at my bar, I am getting a perpetually increasing stack of poison. This is bad for many reasons, one of which is it takes a lot of damage, another which is it actually reduces the healing numbers. You don't want to be sitting in green ever if you have the opportunity. You never want to be in green unless you are doing the mechanic and saving everyone's butt by being in green. Ads is going to be, there's going to be a bunch of ads spawning in the room. I have a pull. It is totally okay to bring pulls in this fight, but please do not pull unless you are 100% sure that you're not going to be slubbling out, which I will explain in a second. We have friendly slubblings that are going to be out there in the fight. They're going to make the floor not toxic and green. We do not want to be on the green, so we do not want to kill our own slubblings. Because if we kill our slubblings, then we're going to be on the green, which is part of that. Because we can wipe it with, but means it can do good. Ads are going to be spawning. You want to pull them on the group. As long as you're not pulling one of our friendly guys, you want to kill them, leave them down as best you can. If you are a ranged character, we have Virtuoso here. Big gaming. We also have a Weaver, which may or may not be ranged. But we want to make sure that we are doing as much damage as we can to these ads, leaving them down as best we can, because they stack indefinitely. Early in the fight, they're just going to give you a shit ton of conditions, but later in the fight, they will corrupt your boons, which means that if you have stability, it will become fear, which again is no good. Make sure to bring a stun break as part of your kit. While I'm talking about this, this is a stun break. It has the breaks stun icon in it. This is probably the best Necro one in the game. It's probably one of the best stun breaks in the game in general because it turns conditions into boons for your team. But just you want to have at least one stun break on yourself because if you do not get the stab or you get it corrupted and then you get feared, which is going to happen throughout the fight, I'll explain that in a second. You need that to break out of it. A stun break essentially is a skill you can use at any time, and no matter what's happening, you will regain control of your character immediately. So if you ever get like CC'd for a million seconds or feared away to the other side of the world, you now have a button you can hit and you'll immediately fix your character. How can I bully my supports? You can still bully your supports, I understand. Do that. cooldown. Pretend it was part of your rotation. Alright, so, and then last but not least, we have poisons. Poisons are going to spawn on the group throughout the fight. You want to bring these off the group. If you would watch me closely, watch the purple arrow closely, if I get a poison, it's going to be a big skull above my head. If you are not moving, I will call you out. You're going to get this border of your screen turning orange and fiery. You're going to get a special action, and you're going to hear a beeping noise. Focus on you. What you need to do is go to, I believe there's also a thing in the middle of your screen. That might be a different boss, if I'm misremembering. I get these all mixed together. Anyway, if you have the poison, you need to do this. Boop, got the poison, and then don't do what I did. Jump back to the group. Anywhere behind the group. So we're going to be going counterclockwise. X on arrow. We're going to be going counterclockwise. You want to drop it behind where we just were on the wall. So if we are facing the direction we're going, back to the right. You do not need to drop it very far. If you're like more than like 10 character lengths away from us, then you're way too far. You literally just need to go, boop, drop it, boop, you're done. That is your entire commitment to that mechanic. You want to drop it on the wall because it's going to rapidly expand, and if you drop it in the middle of the room, it will cover the entire arena. Yep. So if you move too far out, you're going to die to the poison on the floor or other mechanics, and then we're going to have to send people to get you, which means that other people could die, and it can kind of spiral out of control, which is why it is part of FAP. That is why it is part of the acronym, because it can actually wipe us. The poison itself does a tremendous amount of damage. Don't sit in it unless you have to. Alright, so, other than that, we just need to talk about Slothosaur. Slothosaur doesn't have that many mechanics. He is going to fixate on somebody randomly. They're going to get a giant flaming purple Dorito above their head. If you have this flaming purple Dorito, your job is to keep them not on the good, so on the good path. We're also going to have slublings. These slublings are going to start the fight, and every time a mushroom appears, they're going to grab the mushroom associated with their symbol and eat counterclockwise to the next symbol. There is a way to do this fight by going into the middle of the room, and it is actually easier if you know how to do it, but that is a very, very great setup that is not good for new players, so we're not going to go along the outside of the room, eating counterclockwise to the next symbol. So arrow is going to eat to circle is going to eat to heart is going to eat to square is going to eat to arrow might need to eat to circle again, but I doubt it. The way you eat is after you eat the mushroom, you're going to turn into a slubling, you're going to get a eat button, and you're going to walk next to one of these, have the eat button full each channel, and then it will eat the mushroom. So literally, it will not eat the mushroom. You can also dodge when you're a slubling, which is important because your own team can hit you while you're a slubling. You do not want this to happen, but some people just have big AoEs, so you need to be careful. My recommendation is to do the first slubling, immediately dodge over here, and then start eating over here. You're going to just eat alongside the wall until you get to your next symbol. Once you're at the next symbol, there will be a button that you can hit to turn back into a person, relatively speaking, and hit that button, and then you're good to go. Slothosaur, we're going to guide along that path that we made, and he's going to have only 2 attacks. He's going to gain a 3rd attack later in the fight. First attack is going to be a fire breath. He's going to suck in a bunch of air and breathe fire towards whoever's the tank. If you are in this area, you are going to take big damage. It is not big enough to down most people, so you're relatively safe, but it is a lot of damage. Just don't be in it if you don't want to get hit by it. It's a very small enemy. You can move back, move to the sides, you can move to the side of him, but if you get hit with it, no big deal. The other thing he'll do is, I'll call them Donkey Kong slams, or slams. He'll start slamming the ground repeatedly, and then a bunch of AoEs will appear below everybody in the raid. If you want to see how this works, the first time he does it, you can just hold the back button and just have your characters scoot their boobs back a little slowly. You can see the 3 AoEs form. On the 3rd AoE, you want to dodge out, so you're not on anybody else's AoE. This is one of the times it's totally okay to be in the green. As long as you just, like, I'm about to get hit with a bunch of stuff and I do this, that's totally okay. If you get hit with this, you're going to be knocked down for like 5 seconds, and you're probably going to go down if you get hit with multiple, so just heads up, watch out for this. I'll normally do a countdown, but if I miss it, just keep an eye out for the 3rd AoE, and dodge out. Every 20%, he's going to get a sleep time buff, and he's going to go into nap mode, like he is right now. He's going to get a break bar. We need to break this break bar to get him back to damaged. He is immune otherwise. This is going to happen at 80, 40, 20 ish. After he gets waken up from his nap, he gets cranky and roars. This will fear you. We're going to try to cleanse this as best we can. Please bring a stun break just in case. A stun break is literally pretty much mandatory to be on your bar for any raids you'll ever do, unless you were doing speedrun clears. Because it is just a I fix anything that happens button. It's very, very useful. At 50%, he is going to get coconuts. He's going to start shaking. A bunch of coconuts are going to come off him. Just as soon as you see the balls coming off of him, spam your dodges. And then spam your condition clear. If you do not dodge this, and you do not cleanse any of these conditions, you will take 150 to 200 stacks of conditions, and you will be nay-nayed into oblivion in less than 2 seconds. So just make sure that you watch out for this. This is not something that can usually end the raid, because as long as like one of the healers is vaguely paying attention, aka I'm depending on the other healer to do this, then we won't die. But it is something that does do a lot of damage if you do not react to it. That's the entire fight. Move on the path, kill the ads, kill the boss, bring the bring bar. Don't stand in fire, don't stand in AoEs. Don't kill her from this level. Switch would be green. TPS would be roll the dice. I do not have computers. And it's always fun. Never done rush. Oh yeah, if you've never done that, I want you to do it. And I need one more game. Alright, so Tenny, thank you for volunteering. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be eating from whatever your symbol is to the next symbol counterclockwise. So along the right side of the word. Let me do the X again. This is going to be our path. When the fight starts, do not use your AoEs until the slubbling has started eating away and they're like over here. If you use your AoEs too early, you will insta-give them way more damage than you. Because like if you think about it, our Slubling's going to have like what, like 20k HP, let's be generous, even on Emboldened. And experienced DPS players will do 30k DPS a second. So, yeah, just make sure that you aren't hitting them with AoEs when you start out. Anyway, let's get on me, let's ready up, and let's start running it. If you have any questions, don't ready up, ask me the questions, and we will get through. What class and specializations are most recommended in raid? Whatever you're best at. All classes are good.
What's happening?
Alright, we are
It's
armored up.
displeased. We'll deal with the lobster while you clear the room.
You will obey.
Next one, remember me, comrade. Shake here. Refreshing.
Zero tolerance.
How do you know if you're targeted with the poison? Your screen is orange, you have a giant skull above your head, you have a special activity, and your screen's orange. Yeah, and you get a text message. Alright, let's take a photo of the statue and then move to the next boss. The photo is tradition, so... Okay. Well, I'm gonna get that. I took a screenshot. I have the golem fallen ass
You
on.
can never have too much treasure.
Alright, so we're gonna great general, and then we're gonna go up here and go to the green portal for one of our chests. Or I will not be on the scaffolding when it is near the ground. Go up the tree and go to the scaffolding.
We're getting close. Keep moving. Why we're doing this, which is not probably Refreshing.
Getting you out of here. Hurry! The forest is full of them. They'll call in reinforcements. Here they come!
Oh, it's even easier. So, Rain, you want to bring lots of CC, preferably AoE CC. You are essentially going to be breaking some very easy break bars. And break bars, they give up. They're like trying to set them up, and you're just like kicking the stilts out from under them, and they blow up. Yeah. So yeah, you just need to. Late in the fight, there's going to be 3 that need to get set up, but like any one CC skill will break most of them. So you should be fine. They're also pretty like tightly packed, so if there's any like AoEs in your kit, you'll probably hit one. Alright, so very, 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 very easy fight. So, the way this is going to go, Group 1 is going to go down into the arena when the fight starts. I probably should have said that. I'm surprised nobody jumped in. Anyway, yeah, good job, good job. That was the vibe check, good job. And Group 2 is going to be going along this bridge when the fight starts, and we're going to be killing a bunch of snipers. Behind this branch over here that I've marked with a star, is going to be some oil. A couple of us are going to grab oil, and we're going to glide down here. And we're going to drop the oil with the weapon swap key, not with the 1 key. 1 key will slam dunk it into the ground and blow it up. We want to just walk over here, drop it with the weapon swap key, clear the bridge of snipers, and then we're going to come back, grab the oil, glide down and drop it at heart. And then we're going to make our way over to Arrow, which is crammed in the door frame over here. The reason we're doing that is because all the other snipers in the room, we're going to get out of their line of sight by doing that. And if we're not in their line of sight, they're going to want us in our line of sight. In their line of sight, rather. So they're going to run over to us and try punching us to death. We are better at punching than they are. We're going to kill them. And then early in the fight, 650, first boss, throw beehives at him. If he has a purple hornet, you don't need to throw any more beehives. He's already been debuffed. Then just kick his ass. When he's dead, we're going to go around the room for a little bit more, killing ads. At around 5 minutes, we need to be over where I am putting circle, and you need to be pretty tightly packed there. This is a shotgun guy, and this cage that I've now marked with a heart, not a heart, a star, we need to protect that. And if we get too close to the cage, the shotgun guy will say nothing personnel, kid, teleport behind you, and then blow up the cage. We don't want that to happen because that ends the fight and we lose. So we are not going to leave circle unless we are doing mechanic. And he is about to spawn. There's some good doggos on the ground floor over there and over here. And we are going to let them out of their cages so that they can help us maul him to death. There are also cages above on the second floor. Please do not touch these. The fight isn't that hard, but it pretty much guarantees an easy win if you leave the top cages for the third boss. Because they'll just literally just kill everybody else. You don't need to worry about it. Speaking of which, 3 minutes, come over to Heart. Third boss will spawn at 250. We're going to let the dogs loose. When she spawns, chuck the oil weed compiled at Heart over at her. She has a flamethrower, she's going to set it on fire and set herself on fire. That is the entire fight. Throughout the fight, there's going to be saboteurs and mortars. They will be called out for everybody. I can handle saboteurs, and Rain Spell is going to be handling mortars. They're very, very similar mechanics. Essentially, they're going to get a CC bar. You need to break it. If you do not break it in time, Rain, there will be a mortar set up, and you just need to kill the mortar. If you are a DPS, it'll take you like literally 2 seconds. But just try to break the CC bar before that. If you can't break the CC bar, no big deal. Just kill the mortar. You're going to be launching yourself out on the platform where the swirl is. There's going to be bombs right next to it. You're just going to pick up a bomb, throw it at your feet, and you're going to be good to go. All right, we're going to do a ready check. Same platform for all. Yep, every single time. They're going to be setting up right next to where you land at that other platform. Here, I'll put a triangle at the other platform. They're going to be setting up on you. All right, so Group 1, go downstairs and kill ads. Group 2, go on the bridge. Let's go.
Time to bust some heads.
No one leaves.
Kill the invader. Then for the prisoners. They know too much. No sense. Everyone dies.
I need healing. Seriously. Grant, protect me!
Little help. Low on endurance.
Refreshing.
Very nice.
Attack my target! Enemies coming from the north!
Refreshing.
Ready to kill rising.
I see the power at last. What just happened?
Nice. Very nice.
Sir.
Now that's a compliment.
Dodge this! Enemies to the south!
Right, so we not have somebody with mortar strikes. Yeah, so you need to go immediately. You can't wait. Alright, now we're gonna start.
You will obey. Enemy coming from the north! My ally.
Zero tolerance.
Stop that!
Refreshing.
You will obey. Coming from the east. Maximum pain.
Nice. Very nice.
Above and beyond.
Enemy coming from the north.
Refreshing.
Not enough energy.
So grab a bomb.
More coming from the east.
Alright, so everyone go to heart. Get ready to throw things.
Attack my target. How's that feel? Excruciating?
Urge to kill rising.
I'm hurt. Move in! Go! Go! Praise Dwayna. We would have ended up like the others if you hadn't come.
What do you mean?
There's more of us, along with a soldier they brought here.
Where were they taken?
To the north. No one they've taken there has ever returned.
You're gonna come in.
We've cleared a path to the outside of the compound. Gather your people and head through the cave to the east. There's a packed camp at the jungle entrance. They'll tend to your wounds. Go!
Not need to be, just hang around for a minute. Because you gotta get to we won't have to be, but it just saves a lot of time. Fun fact about the hive, I say this every time I come up here. It has a 33% chance of dropping on either platform, 32% chance of falling into the lake. Anyone know if you get the vial of spring water? side on this platform of the updrafts. To the arrow symbol that I put up. That is another chest.
This doesn't look good.
I love me some Imperial dragons. Not as much as I love me some unidentified.
You can never have too much treasure.
Yeah, I got the set there. I think they're other than the ectoplasmic.
That's how
It's not set in stone, it sure feels that way.
rise and serve.
Refreshing. Armored up. Die for it.
Rising.
When I'm looking at fight was not that's a good question. And I know the response, but like honestly it's not that good. Play whatever you enjoy. Well, Connie's good and bad.
I need your help.
Here, this is the last chest over here where I am. You just jump here. And the reason why Connie is somewhat bad is because if you do not bring a lot of CC, you can and will. Oh, I missed the jump. If you missed the jump like me, just be But, so, a part of this fight where you're going to need to break a guy out of the sacrifice.
I shall harvest the souls of the unbelievers.
CC, and you are a big Connie gamer, you will almost single-handedly kill the guy if you're not careful. And because it's Connie, you do a lot of damage in a very short time over an extended period of time. And so even if you don't like a mistake, you've now shortened your time to die and block to Connie as the sacrifice. Power, it's usually not as much a problem unless you're playing Blade Sworn. If you're playing Blade Sworn, your main CC also does 280 times damage, which they do not have that much. Alright, so, very, very easy fight. There is a way to do this simpler, not simpler, but easier, called Square Dance. We're not going to do that because our damage is absurd, but we are going to depend on people that are paying attention for mechanics. Because if we do center strat, which is what we're planning on doing, if you do not pay attention to mechanics, you can and will hurt us tremendously. So, the way this fight's going to work, I need all of our mesmers to bring feedback. It is a utility skill, it's a big old bubble. The way feedback works for everybody is that either inside or out, if a projectile hits a wall of feedback, it will reflect at the person who shot it. So, if you put the feedback bubble directly on top of Matthias when he's making the machine gun move, which I'll explain in a second, it will always reflect back at him no matter what, unless it's destroyed. So, speaking of which, barrier signet on mechs. Please be careful. Please do not use barrier signet while he has a shield up. The way that we break his shield, he's going to start the fight with one and he's going to get it throughout the fight. is we need to reflect projectiles back at him that he shoots. If you use Barrier Signet, it will destroy projectiles, which includes reflecting ones. So we don't want that to happen, or rather it destroys them before they can get reflected, which means they don't get reflected. Which means that his shield doesn't break and he's invincible forever. So please be very careful of any kind of projectile destruction while he has a shield up. When he doesn't have a shield up, go crazy. We have two. You're more than fine. You can do it with one if the one person is standing. I could also switch with it. I absolutely. So, I'm going to explain the phases of this fight first, and then I'm going to explain the rest of the stuff about the boss. The boss isn't really a threat, it's the phases that you worry about. First phase of this fight is going to be ice phase. It's going to be patches of ice on the ground. If you have any burning in your kit, Weaver, cough, then you can kill all of this round patches of ice with one stack of burning. So if you can do at least one stack of burning,
My flames burn hotter.
it will be immediately destroyed. If we have one person that's really good at that, this is no longer a problem for the entire phase. Throughout the entire fight, someone's going to get a small dark green skull above their head and an AoE around them. This AoE is going to damage everybody around you and yourself as long as you have it. To get it off of you, you'll notice that there are pristine fountains of gamer girl bathwater around the arena. You want to dip yourself in that, and it will turn into gross, like smudgy, Pepsi-looking liquid. If it is dark brown, it is not good. If it is clear, you can use that to clean yourself of this debuff. Other than that, ice phase has really nothing. It is just avoiding the patches, getting that dude into the fountain, which we're going to need to do for the entire fight, so please pay attention if you have an AoE around. Next is going to be fire phase at 80%. Fire phase is what most people have the problem with. We're not going to have a problem. We're going to be gamers. And the reason why people have a problem with it is during fire phase, and only during fire phase, you will get big skulls. So if the room is orange, please pay as much attention as you can to your character. If you have a big skull above your head, a special action key, and a AoE around yourself, you need to run it somewhere in the room and drop it somewhere on the wall that is not on a fountain. Literally anywhere but directly on us or on a fountain. Drop it on any wall. If you do not drop it, it will get dropped for you, and there is a chance you're going to immediately get another one. Keep in mind this does damage to you the entire time you have it, so you are probably going to go down when this happens. You need to really haul ass. If you get a big skull during fire phase, just immediately haul ass to the wall and drop it. If you don't do that, there's a very high possibility you will drop it on the group, which will kill a lot of people. So please do not do that. Other than that, during fire phase, the only things that will be happening are flame tornadoes, like the last fight. They're not as scary as the last fight. Unlike the last fight, we're not in a tight little alley, we're in a giant temple. So just try not to get in the flame tornadoes way. And also, you can take damage or not. But it's like 50 damage a second. It is completely negligible. And honestly, if they want to make this more challenging, but anyway, if you feel like you're taking too much damage, because this will ramp up over time, all you need to do is commence the jiggling on. Just jiggle around. Do your DPS rotation while you're jiggling around, and you will stop taking damage. Last but not least is water phase. It's not the last, not the least, but it is the last phase technically. 60 to 40. You're going to take more damage while you're moving around. This is mainly in the form of poison damage, which we have 2 scourges, so it shouldn't be a huge issue. But you try not to run in giant circles all the time unless you need to. Speaking of moving around when you need to, this will be the spread phase. People will get giant AoEs on them. If you get a giant AoE, you need to do the following. Move out of the groups, your AoEs are not on people. Take your hands off your keyboard. Wait for it to explode, back to the group. The reason you want hands off the keyboard is because if somebody runs in your AoE, your first instinct is going to be trying to get out of, trying to get them out of your AoE. But, fuck them. If they run in your AoE, they go down. If you try to get out of the AoE, you can do this and down 7 people, which happens a lot when people aren't explained this. So, just get out of the group, hands off the keyboard. If someone dies, it's their own fault. Get back to the group immediately after your thing explodes. That's very important as well. It's equally important to leave the group, and it's equally important to immediately come back. If you don't immediately come back, you could die off the group, which is a problem. At 40%, he is going to go big mode. His attacks don't change that much, but his animations do. And he will also be big mode, which is a giant mutant-looking freak. Yeah. During this phase, he will give everybody a spread marker and then fear them one time. He will never do this attack again. It will only ever happen once. After that, he'll start rotating through all of the phases. Most notably, if it is fire phase, pay attention, because you're going to get like rapid fire big skulls during fire phase, both at 80% and at 40 below. So please pay attention to big skulls. Big skulls are what kill 95% of raids. That or people not bringing crowd control. I'll explain that in a second. During this last 40%, there will also be a spirit. I have grown accustomed over the past few years of calling him John Cena. If you hear me say Cena coming in, or it's John Cena, just watch out for a spirit with an AoE around it. The reason we called him John Cena is because he 5-knuckle shuffles your ass into the dirt if he touches you. He will do like 10,000 damage a second while he's touching you. Do not touch him unless you absolutely have to. Also, just there's going to be a lot of spreads. Just move off the group and immediately move back in whenever you see one. And that's pretty much the entire fight. Now for his attacks, most importantly, he will sacrifice people 140%. Everyone's going to get the message, someone's about to be sacrificed. They're going to go into that blood shard in the middle of the room, and they're going to get a break bar. You need to break that break bar. Keep in mind you can also attack them. However, if you get them to 0% health, they die. They don't get freed, they die. Also, if you don't free them in like 8-ish seconds, they also die. So, and I don't mean get downed, I mean they like are straight up killed immediately and instantly. So it's very important to bring at least some CC to this fight. If you do not, it's very, very bad for your teammates. The two attacks he has, other than that, are, we call it the Hadouken, but he'll spin his staff in place and shoot a giant energy ball. If this touches you, it will do tremendous amounts of damage. As soon as you see him spinning his staff, he is locked in place. So if you move to either side of him, you're completely safe. You have dodged the attack. His other move that he'll do a bunch of parkour, and as long as you were not in the direct center of his hitbox when he does this, it'll do like 2,000 damage. If you are in the direct center of his hitbox, it will do tremendously more because all of the projectiles that are spreading from the center of his hitbox will all hit you at the same time. So just keep in mind, don't be in the center of his hitbox when he's doing sick flips in the air. And then last but not least, let's talk about his shield. His shield he'll put up throughout the fight, the entire fight, and the first thing he'll do like an imagination rainbow-like gesture with one arm, and then a shield will pop up around him. When he does this, the next thing he'll do, 100% of the time, every time, will start shooting bullets. When he's in small mode, he'll stick his staff to his side and start shooting them like a machine gun. When he's in big mode, he will actually and unironically do a big nay-nay. And while he is nay-naying, he'll be shooting bullets. So if you see him put a shield up, and you are a mesmer with feedback, I'm going to call this out when I see it. If I don't see it, just know it's the first thing he does every time he puts a shield up. You need to drop your feedback directly on his head. By doing that, you'll reflect his bullets. He shoots 20 bullets total. You need to reflect 50 of them to break his shield. If you miss it, it's not the end of the fight. You will need to just suffer until we can get another reflect up. And then we will just try again. You will be unable to be damaged while he has a shield up, although Connie's on him, I believe, will still check if they were on him. When he's in big mode, his only different attacks, instead of doing sick flips in the air, he'll pelvic thrust into a crystal and it will shatter all across the room. Just don't be in as many AoEs as possible. It's very hard to dodge them all, but as long as you're not in like 3 overlapping ones, you're not going to get punished for this at all. It'll do like 4,000 damage to you and you'll be instantly healed. Alright, I'm going to do a ready check and we're going to get grooving. I'm going to remind people of mechanics, but we're going to be hanging out in the middle of the room. please keep an eye out for skulls, both big and small. Big skulls will only happen during fire phase. Small skulls will happen the entire fight. Small skulls go to a fountain. Big skulls go to a wall. Get your feedback ready, Mesmers. Remember, he puts the shield up, then he shoots. As soon as he finishes his wave above his head, put a feedback bubble on.
Elements, I command you to bend to my will.
Great job.
That went better than I expected. Urge to kill rising.
Your sins are shocking.
Your sacrifice will bring him life. He will not be pleased.
That went better than I expected.
Elements are in my grasp. Your sacrifice will bring him life. You will not be pleased.
Pretty much fuck over everybody else. So please, 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 go to a wall if you have a big skull. Everything else we did perfectly. And remember, big skulls are only during fire phase, so you don't need to worry about them unless it's during fire phase. Yeah, we had 2 people drop. Well, that's why I said go to a wall first, and then do it. Don't worry about it, man. I went over a lot of info. It's kind of hard to keep up with everything, especially if you're new to the raid. Just know in the future, if you get one of those, you need to go to a wall.
Strong.
Our objective is to not drop it on the group. Just dropping it on the group kind of fucks everybody. Big Skull gives special action units only during fire phase. Small Skull happens during the entire raid. You need to go to a fountain gamer for that one. Alright, we're gonna get grooving in 3, 2, 1, go.
Elements, I command you to bend to my will.
Urge to kill rising.
Rise and serve.
That went better than I expected.
Your sacrifice will bring him life. He will not be pleased. Surge's ability. The elements are in my grasp. Your sacrifice will bring him life. He will not be pleased.
Out of his phase, you're not
Dodge this.
Your sacrifice will bring him life.
There's a person in the middle of the room.
We will not be pleased.
Chill rising.
That fits good. Nice gear.
But you can get the bathwater at a fountain.
Thanks. I wish we could take
can't
this
get it
moment to
before, but
celebrate.
after.
But I fear there isn't time. They're sacrificing people again. We need to stop them.
Also, there's going to be
Call it.
bloodstone dust, I believe. You need to mix that with the dust you get at the top of the
The
sink.
chaos they inflicted on Tyrion was short-lived. They were eventually crushed, and their scattered remnants went into hiding. But pockets of their fanatical
Down here, if you are not aware yet, you can talk to Glenna and buy every single boss drop in the entire wing. You go to the cave entrance in this wing. Glenna is in every wing somewhere. She's usually here at the beginning. Oh, you get homestead recipes now?
Where do I go?
First one.
Okay.
I feel strong.
And you can use your trophies to craft homestead recipes now. Oh. Where's the recipes? Yeah. Some of us have way too much sitting around now.
Well, it says to me I don't have time for people who are clueless about late reefs.
Do you not have any masteries in raids yet?
Nope.
You need to do that.
Oh shit.
You need to spend one mastery point getting rid of full effect. Should be good. Which is the equivalent of like killing one boss in a raid. That much experience.
I see.
So, you want to blaze through your Heart of Thorns masteries. Stick them on while you're doing it. So you like get like almost a full XP bar boost whenever you kill one raid boss. So one thing you get two different tiers and whatever you want.
Wait, which one should I buy here?
So my recommendation is you can buy Ascended raid weapons. The only way to get these is through raiding, so I recommend people buy them if they like one of the raid weapons. Otherwise, you can save up your magnetite for clovers, which is part of crafting your legendary armor. You can buy that from the guy in the aerodrome. And if you want to min-max, you can get statted infusions from the guy in the aerodrome as well. I don't use statted infusions. If you're going to be an endgame DPSer and like really lean hard into that, probably are going to be interested in that, but unless you're really interested in very, very endgame DPS, you generally don't need stat.
Alright, thank you for that train.